there are some legitimate concerns that I've actually seen.
Mm-hmm.
The big one, obviously, is the moment where Lois and Superman, I should say, are having their interview, where Superman's being interviewed, and he does get a little animated. He jumps up and he starts talking, or not talking, but starts kind of getting animated and yelling at Lois because he's upset about the questions being asked. And there's some people that are like questioning, like, is that something Superman would do? Do any of you see an issue with that in
No,
this movie? And I want you to
not
be
at all.
honest. I don't want you to sit here as a fan. I don't want you to sit
No.
here and think like, oh, I just want this movie to be successful. I want you to truly sit there and think through the history of Superman, through the history of the comics. Is there any reason why you think that does not fit the character? And if it does or doesn't, why?
Here's the thing, right? From the moment this movie was announced, the biggest thing that has been said time and time and time again is this is a movie trying to explore who the character of Superman and Clark Kent is internally. Really, this whole I said this on my own live stream the other night, but like, if Zack Snyder was trying to deconstruct what the idea of Superman is, right? What James Gunn is trying to do is he's trying to deconstruct the character like internally. So it's like the idea of the character versus the character internally, where it's like this whole movie is trying to support the notion of, okay, is this character still relevant in 2025? Does this character still matter? Does what he represent or what he has represented still apply today? I think the whole point of this movie and really what the trailer was trying to establish in that first minute is these questions are brought up because it's the world we live in today. It's a very cynical world. It's a very harsh world where, like, you have all this government regulation. Like, things aren't so cookie cut clean. Stuff is very messy. The world is a very messy place. But I think really the whole point of this movie is it's trying to show who Clark Kent and Superman is on a moral level, on an ideal level, like are his morals, his values, and can he uphold those despite the numerous challenges he's going to face in this movie?
Yeah, bro, I agree. I feel like a lot of people are overreacting to the way he was talking and not what he was actually talking about. The way that I saw it, at least, was number one, he was with Lois Lane, so I felt like he was a little more comfortable to talk the way that he did. If he was with another person, I don't think he would have talked with the passion that he talked with. I do think he was talking passionately. I don't think it was angry. I feel like a lot of people haven't been snapped on because when I've been crashed out on, it did not look like that. Superman looked pretty nice. I'm not gonna lie. And just as in I mean, look, he wants to do the right thing. And it seems like from what we have seen, every time he tries to do the right thing, there's someone that he has to go through. There's some rules that he has to follow. And we all have been in times in our lives where we wanted to do something and there's a stupid rule that makes no sense that we have to abide by. So Superman is passionately frustrated. And for some reason, you guys think that Superman has like Superman can't be frustrated, like Superman can't be annoyed. Like, yes, he is a good man, but like he still has emotions that he feels and goes through because he was raised by humans. And that's the part that, a lot of people forget, that he was raised by humans. So he can feel this way as long as he doesn't act on it in anger.
Mm-hmm. And really quick too, I want to add this too. I feel like oftentimes in the movies and shows we've seen with Superman, it's always how the world reacts to Superman. But I think what this movie is trying to do is like, how is Superman reacting to the world that he lives in currently? I think that's the big difference too.
I one of the things that I like because I love what Zack Snyder did, and I know a lot of people question some of the choices that he made with his films, but I appreciate that he took these characters and did what he thought would make sense in that on that specific shot, right? For instance, he didn't save his father. He did like those are the arguments that people are constantly have online. He didn't save his dad. He snapped Zod's neck at the end. I mean, those are valid points, but I understand what Zack Snyder was trying to do, right? So now James Gunn has a turn to play with his character. Now we're gonna question this because he just yelled. Like, this is not out of character. This is him being comfortable, like he said, to piggyback on what you said, being comfortable with his girlfriend, and this is not a testament to his to his character, but much rather at Lois' ability to get under his skin, because she is a reporter. She's a Pulitzer winner reporter, and she's doing what she's supposed to do. She's supposed to get under your skin, give you the tough questions, make you uncomfortable. How many times have you seen these amazing reporters get under the skin of, uh, of the people that they are questioning? Whether it's a politician, whether it's an artist, how many? You guys remember R. Kelly just crashing out on an interview? This happens. Yeah, exactly. So this happens all the time. So him doing that in front of her, which I feel like it was like a little bit performative. So I think they were practicing to the real for the real interview. It was like in brand. So like, so even though like we're lacking a lot of context, it's like it feels like it was earned. It meant something. It was more about her and her ability to get under his skin, under the skin of the Man of Steel, than him just crashing out in front of her.
Yeah, I didn't see it as out of character. You know, Superman getting mad at Lois was obviously a clear choice by James Gunn. You know, it was basically the first thing you saw, and it's just a more emotionally complex, human like. You know, I think it was Steve you said, you know, he was raised in Kansas, and he does struggle with moral dilemmas because he always does want to do the right thing, but he lives in a world where we all see what the right thing is as different. You know, people are always arguing is what's right, and I think there's a lot of nuance to that, and he is frustrated that people see nuance to doing the right thing. He's just like, this is the right thing. And I think that Superman is unlike anyone else in the comic book superhero world. No character is looked at under a microscope every day the way Superman is. When people say Superman is not relevant, there's not one other character that gets looked at this way. So I think that goes to show how much hype it is and how this movie does feel so different. And, you know, a lot of people who love James Gunn and want to see this movie succeed are still. Robert Meyer Burnett's a perfect example. He was very critical about this.
Yeah, I saw that.
People are always like trying to say that he's a shill and this and that. And, you know, he was very critical of this. So I think it's cool that people are giving their real opinions. I think that's very important. I think that we're seeing that on Slav's live stream right now. But yeah, also that conversation was very candid. You know, he was in her apartment. It wasn't like he was at a news station on a broadcast. It was obviously going to be used in an article or some, you know, medium, but that conversation was not live. He was in her apartment at nighttime. So it was very candid and he was obviously very comfortable. And I think that's an important component to it.